issues? Yeah, it's an improvement. Grace, did you want it to go to the front or did you want to take my seat? What did you want to do? You sure? I was just being lazy. You don't need to follow me.
No, I need to sit down.
You sure?
Yes. You don't want to sit
I
down.
suppose we've all had a long day. So there you go. Yeah, do you know what? I'm not happy about my wires all over the place. I usually have my stick and my tape to tape it all down. But I think at home I took it out my bag and it never went back in. So I'm stuck like this for now. But I'm glad everyone's over there out the way. No health and safety issues tonight. Rightio, so Grace, I'll give you the mic and let you continue. Does anyone need any paper to make any notes? No? Okay, no problem. Should I give these out now or when you're ready?
Yeah, when you're ready.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Grace. I run a bookkeeping business. I am not an accountant. I am a bookkeeper. There's a difference between the two, which we'll discuss about later. I deal with company, all kinds of businesses, small, large, medium, charity, whatever it is. I either train them how to enter their financial transactions or help them to do it. For startup businesses, usually what I do is train them. I want them to get into the nitty-gritty of their businesses so that whenever anybody does the final account, which is required by law, all they have to do, they are aware of the figures. You don't sign anything you're not sure of. I always warn people, don't sign anything you're not sure of. If you pay somebody to do your accounts for you, please ensure they are able to explain it to you. If not, please don't pay them. And get onto their professional body. You will deal with them. So just a little tip, because we've had cases of people signing figures, signing the final accounts. When there's an inspection, the law requires that as the owner of the business, it's your responsibility. If you subcontract that part of it to somebody else, and you say, oh, my accountant, I didn't understand, the law will still come back to you and say, well, you are the owner of the business, it's your responsibility. Unfortunately, that's how the law plays. So please, and please, and please, and please, learn about doing your, understand it. If you don't have time, give it to somebody, but let them explain to you what it's all about. So tonight we're going to talk about record keeping, why it's important, simple budgeting, keeping an eye on what's going on in and out of your business. Whether you're just starting, whether it's you've been in business for about 6 months, 3 months, record keeping is very important. The earlier you start, the better it is, the cheaper it is for you at the end of the 12 months when you have to submit to Companies House or HMRC or anybody. Okay, so that's my name, that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I treat myself like a social enterprise. I don't do the final accounts, I do the beginning, which everybody struggles with, because that is 90% of the work done already. Once you know how to keep your records in order, 90% of it is done. When you leave it to the last minute, you give it to somebody else, they have to rush to do it, you will pay through your nose, and that's where people start making mistakes. So please try and avoid that. Like I said, by law, every business owner must keep a complete and organized set of financial records for their businesses. There is no excuse whatsoever. There is no way you can argue and say, well, all my receipts are lost. It's not acceptable. Oh, I was sick, oh, my accountant is sick, they did the wrong thing. No matter what you say, there's no excuse. So start early. HMRC is a very good website. I know they have a very bad reputation, even with us in our professional line. We do argue with them a lot. We don't understand some of the rules. If we don't understand it, we wonder how businesses are going to understand it. But they are improving. I mean, it's not a government organization, we all know how it all works out. If you put yourself in their shoes, you're running a business, you know how hard it is. Talk less of a massive organization where people get employed today, 3 months down the line, they're fed up, they're stressed out, they got away, they have to retrain another set of people, and the cycle goes on. So visit their website. Whatever any professional tells you about your account, please let them give you a link to HMRC websites. We have so many organizations out there that would try and interpret what HMRC is saying. Please always ask, where is it said on HMRC website, so that you can compare what they have shot in. HMRC documents are always very big. If you compare it to what is being shot in, you will have a better understanding, because HMRC will give you, you click on a link, you read that one, you click on another link and link and link. Somebody summarized it so that you don't have to go further. Please try and go further. Invest in it. It's your money, it's your business, it's your responsibility. So I've put aside, some folders. You will be sent all the information because we don't have time to go into everything. And that's why I said additional documents have already been included in this slide to be sent to you. Any capital letters, do read them to avoid paying penalties. Paying tax is on profit. People always have this misconception about, well, we have to pay tax. Okay. So people always think that, oh, because I've not made profit, I don't have to do my accounts. You have to. Tax is calculated on business profit. That means whatever money, whatever sales you have made during that 12 months, you will deduct all your business expenses. If there's anything left that is positive, that means you've spent less than what you brought in. There's a profit, there might be tax. Not everybody pays tax. There are some exceptions, but again, that is in another event that you have to attend. But the most important thing is understand what is coming in, understand what is going out, and the balance. Don't worry too much about, oh, I don't know how much tax I'm going to pay. If you don't keep your records, you will never know. You have to keep records. And how do you start keeping records? You buy something, you can't shop, everybody's giving out receipts. If they don't give out receipts and it's related to your business, please ask for your receipts. On a personal level, we are not used to keeping paperwork because we don't like everything flying around. For your business, there's a big difference, whether you're self-employed, registered with HMRC, a company, whichever format, charities, clubs, whatever it is, please keep everything that is related to business, or else you will really pay a heavy fine if there's no record or if everything is upside down. If you get inspected, HMRC is doing a lot of inspections on small businesses now. They have recruited a lot of people, training them to go out and knock on doors now. I'm just hinting you well ahead. They could come and do an inspection at any point in time. So please, it's very important that you have to do that. We have what we call budgeting. And I've put there, very simply, budget is an estimated income and expenditure for a set period of time, usually 12 months. Again, there is an additional set of information that you will all receive. But we've got a sample that we will hand out to everybody to have an idea of what it is. When you start running your business, whatever it is, you'll have to have a budget. I don't know if anybody has attended anything that is called startup business events or whatever it is. They always talk about having a budget. It's an estimate. This is the plan that I have for my business. I'm assuming I will have this. So you need figures to work with, and that is what we call it, a budget. So that gives you a guideline of, if I've projected and say that I'm going to make £5,000 in a month, I have to work towards getting that £5,000. So it's a guide. If you don't have that figure in your head, you won't have a push to go with. So it depends on what you're selling. You have to have something in, and that's why we tell people to have a budget. It's always good to start with a budget and review it every year. Look at it. After the first year you will have to be a lot of estimating. After your first year of trading, you will have had actual figures. Now, when you're doing your next year's budget, you can base it on that one, and now decide, okay, I didn't make my 5,000. I only made £3,000. Then you try and improve on it so that at least you have something to work on. Closing link to budget is cash flow forecast and projection. which is spreading the budget figures across the whole 12 months to know when you might need to bring in extra income into the business or to reduce the expenditure of your business. What this means is that with the budget, you have 12 months. Divide it across the whole 12 months. Your financial year might start in April and end in March. It's always a 12 months, whether you start in January to December, October to September, whichever one is a 12 month. Spread that budget that you had for the whole year, spread it across 12 months. Some months, your expenditure might go up. It's a guide. You don't have to beat yourself about it. You just know that, oh, next month I need to work harder, get more money in so that the cost can go down and I'll have a little bit of excess to cross over. The budget versus actual comes at the end of your trading after the 12 months. You now have a set of figures to compare to your budget. You've made an estimate what actually happened during that time, and that is a good comparison. So that would help you against year 2 or year 3, year 4, year 5, and going on, moving on forward. So we always encourage people, whether you're just starting, whatever it is, to have a good practice getting through that. It does help a lot. Once you have your first set of transactions and this is what actually happened, you have something to compare it with. At the end of the day, you know that year 2, I might need to stop spending a lot on stationery, or I might need to get a little bit of space, maybe hot desking rather than renting a place. You'll have something to look into, and that will give you an idea. You really need those figures. I know people always say it's mathematics. Accounts, bookkeeping, it has nothing to do with mathematics. I don't like mathematics formula. I passed my mathematics exams, but just barely. I failed anything that has to do with formula. So it has nothing to do, oh, you're very good in mathematics. No, it's just a normal career, but it's just in figures rather than just the usual writing of words like this. So at the end of each quarter, half yearly or yearly, you should compare your actual income and expenditure with your budget cash flow to see how you have done. This will also show you how well you are keeping your financial records. So if, for example, if at month 1, you spend a lot of money, you know you spent it, but you just can't find the figures in whatever you've done. You wonder that it's either you haven't kept your records properly, you've not collected the receipts, you've not put them together. At the end of the day, you need to say, okay, from next month, I need to improve on that. So again, it's record keeping. The more records you're keeping, the more you are able to get an accurate picture of what's going on in your business. Like I said, I deal with bookkeeping. There's a big difference between bookkeeping and accounting. Bookkeeping is keeping records of what is bought, sold, owed to you, what you owe other people, what money comes in, what goes out, and what is left. It's a financial transaction in any event that involves money. So you have to make your bookkeeping priority. Keeping your records a priority. You can't say, I don't have time. Please, 1 hour a week. If you start weekly, it's easier rather than leaving it till the end of the month. That is 4 weeks. It will be, because you're not used to it, you're not a bookkeeper, you're not an accountant. After some time, you just start saying, oh, I will leave it till next month. That's month 2, I'll leave it till next month. Month 3, it's going on. You will not want to touch it again. So please have a practice, 1 hour. I do watch a lot of TV. I'm a fan of crime scenes. So I know a lot of us have these little habits that we can't tear away from. Try and find something that is comfortable. Maybe on a Saturday, on a Sunday evening, in the evening. Let me just, everything that has come in this week, let me put them together. If you get an envelope, for example, put all your receipts in there. The tiny ones, you've got to be very careful. The ink goes away easily. What I always suggest for that is immediately you get a tiny receipt, obviously you go to all these cafes and whatever it is, they give you this tiny receipt. If you can put them and make a photocopy and staple them to the photocopied one, the photocopied one will never erase itself. Those tiny receipts, we say them, somebody gives me a shoe bag of carrier bag. By the time I open all the receipts, I'm just looking at blank sheets of paper. There is no way anybody will ever remember what happened. But if it's stapled to an A4 sheet of paper that is photocopied, I can see what's there, then you can record it. So you can see how much money people are losing out But all those tiny receipts, £1.50 here, £2 there, some of them are as high as £20, the ink is gone. You could put it up there, you're not going to see anything. You don't even know what it is, even if you see the amount, okay, what it is. I don't know, whatever it is. So please, when you got all those tiny receipts, the ink goes away quickly. Photocopy it and just staple it to on that A4 sheet of paper so that at least when the ink goes away, but the little one, you still have the photocopied one and you keep it. And we have to keep our financial records. Each financial year has to be kept for 6 years. Each financial year has to be kept for 6 years. Luckily, we have this cloud-based things going on, like Dropbox and whatever it is, as much as possible to reduce having liver arch folders all over the place, or you don't have to scan them and put them in Dropbox. Have each folder labeled January, February, March, and everything, and store them there. They're not going to go away. Something really has to happen to the whole world of cloud before we actually your invoices disappear. But start keeping them there, because before you know it, the folders start piling up. There's no more space for you. Again, we are talking of reducing space. So start keeping them there. Once they are there, anybody can, your accountant, your bookkeeper can log in and see them. So instead of you running around and saying, I can't find my invoices, I can't find anything, please try to have a Dropbox account at least. Bookkeeping may be performed using Excel spreadsheets. With increasing complexity in tax regulations and to minimize calculation error, many organizations use accounting software to assist in bookkeeping. Startup businesses, I always tell them, start with a spreadsheet. Don't run and go and buy this accounting software. It is a nightmare. I've had situations where it costs them more to get it corrected than they might pay. I mean, you might go in, like QuickBooks, for example, might say, okay, £10 per month for using the software. If you're not used to it, if you don't know what you're doing and it's wrong, if you bring people like us in, we charge a lot because we have to remove every mess you've done in. Now we enter everything. That's double the time, double the money. So if you think you are saving, you don't want an accountant or a bookkeeper, no. When you're starting your business, when I was starting my business, because it's an accounting business, so it's okay. I know what I'm doing. If I was doing a catering business, I would be more concerned in getting my food sorted out, marketing my business. I don't think I will have enough time to be sorting out my paperwork. And I think that's when I'll either decide to start doing it on a regular basis or get somebody on board, do a skills exchange. Okay, I will give you X number of hours to do this one, then in return I'll give you this or whatever it is. So try and trade within yourselves, not necessarily exchanging cash. Some people might like it. I've seen a startup business that they use their children. My children, I used to take them to my client's office. That's how they get their pocket money. I don't give money out freely like that. My children know me for that. They're not here, but they know they work, so they do all the nitty-gritty little piece of papers that I don't like looking at. They will do it for me. But I've trained them, so now they're in uni. They know how to do their budget. They know how to manage their money. They know that if they go and have to borrow money, they have to pay it back, so they have to calculate and say, no, I'd rather get a mortgage than get that one, and that kind of thing. So it's a good training for everybody to do. So please make bookkeeping a priority. The importance of bookkeeping and keeping good financial records. We've been talking about it, and I keep repeating myself, but believe you me, it is very, very important. And why is it important to have good record keeping of financial documents? You keep track of your income, that is your sales and expenses. Like I said, we were talking, most people from my experience, I've realized that is people know what they've sold out. The problem we always have is they don't know what they have spent. You will incur travel costs, you will incur advertising costs, you will incur all this market online stuff you will have been paying here and there. People, because they've not kept the records, they've lost it. If there's no record, you can't just assume a figure and add it in. When there's no paper trail, if you have an inspection, HMRC will ask you, where did you get that figure? We need to see it. They do ask for paperwork. So please, if you don't see the paperwork, don't put the figure in, because they will assume you are committing fraud and they will calculate tax on that, and they might, depending on the size of the figure, You might end up paying tax when you don't really need to. Because if you don't account for all your purchases, all your expenditure, you will have the sales figure up there, no zero expenditure. At the bottom, you have a big profit, and tax will be calculated on profit. Tax is always calculated on profit, not on loss. So if you don't make enough money, 5,000 sales, 5,500 or 5,600 expenditure, you have negative figure at the bottom, you will not pay tax on that one. There is no tax on losses. Tax is only calculated on profits. You will also need your record keeping for if you want to ask for a bank loan. As your business is expanding, you would definitely go to the bank and say, and believe you me now, they are checking everything because of all the scandals in 2008 and every business going on there. They are checking for everything, and even if it's not from the bank, anybody you want to get information from, accountants have to produce your account, have to sign it and say, I've checked all these records and I've seen them, this is exactly what's happening. I wouldn't invest in a business if I'm not too sure of the figures. I'm not sure that they're, because it's my money I'm losing. I'm not sure you'll be able to pay me back. So if you give me figures that I know in reality they're not good, I will not invest in that business. I think every investor out there would also do the same thing. You can see what you are owed by others. That is when you make a sale, somebody doesn't pay you on time, we call them debtors. They are the people you sell to, they will pay you later. Not everybody has the business of you being paid on the spot. Sometimes you'll have to do the work in advance, especially service-based businesses. You'll have to offer that service. Some of them will say, we'll pay you at the end of the month, or 7 days, or 14 days, or whatever it is. At the end of every month, you will be able to see, if you keep your records, you will be able to know who is owing you money, that you can chase and tell them, excuse me, you haven't paid last month's invoice. And if they've not paid last month's invoice, please don't continue providing services. It might be a sign that that business is going under, and nobody knows. All these businesses that are closing down, it's not as a result of them not having profit, not making any profit. It's a level of things that's been going on. They are owing a lot of people. And the bank is saying, no more, we're not giving you any more money, there's no more credit, so if they can't pay what they owe, they will have to go under. So, and also, it also shows you how much you owe other people. You're gonna have, it's a business, you're gonna buy from people, you will have to know, okay, let's come back. So you will have to know what is actually happening if you owe other people. So like people will owe you, you know, the more you pay. The less actual paperwork that you give them, if you give them a spreadsheet or you use an accounting software, there are reports there that you have already entered, the less you would pay. You will be able to negotiate your fees. But if you give them the whole box for the whole year and say, this is everything, including my bank statements, you have it, they will have to sift through on your behalf and they will charge you more. So get used to it. Your startup businesses, get used to it. Don't make it until the last minute. You will also be able to calculate the correct amount of tax and receive the correct amount of benefits or credits. People that are applying for housing benefits now, I was shocked when they showed me the form. Thank you. I was shocked when I realized that all the councils have gone to HMRC website, they've copied the self-assessment format and now use it to assess people's income. So if you say yourself as you're self-employed, you now have to fill out that form if you are claiming any benefit. Now, when I saw the form last week, I could not believe this is how far they've gone. And that is, they want to know exactly what is going on. Gone where it is when you say I'm self-employed, they will have to estimate how much to give you. Now they want to calculate it to the last penny. So if you're self-employed and you're not keeping any records, you won't get any benefit, end of. Because they will say, well, we don't know what to calculate it on. So you have to be, it's also beneficial to do that. So you have to, then keeping records will also help you avoid paying any extra tax or penalties if accounts are late for submission. Some people, if you're self-employed, you're likely to have been registered with HMRC and you do your self-assessment. Everybody likes waiting to the 31st of January. I don't know why, but it is always wrong. People will call me. By October, I stopped accepting people that want to do their self-assessment. To me, it's just too late. It's too much stress for me. It's your business. If you don't have time for your business, Why should I have time for your business? That's how I tell people. It's your business. If you don't have time for it, nobody else will have time for it. And if they decide to have time for it, they will charge you. So you have to have the option of, I've got so much money, let me pay to somebody else to do, or let me start doing this from the beginning and I'll sort myself out. Yes, that's what I was talking between the bookkeeper and an accountant. A bookkeeper will do your bookkeeping, which is recording all your financial day-to-day transactions. So you make sales, your purchases, your bank transactions, you have a bank account, there's transactions in there, you settle direct debits, standing notes, and that kind of a thing. The bookkeeper will be doing that. They will also advise you on how to set up your financial recording system. Like I said, I specialize, that's what I do. I'm this kind of person. Old-fashioned, good. But what I do is I make sure what I'm good at, I capitalize on it, I build on my strength, rather than learning too many things. And at the same time, not achieving anything at the end of the day. So what I do with my colleagues, we split clients between ourselves. I work with 2 other bookkeeping organizations. One is always we do the final accounts and the transition and whatever calculation. One does the payroll and I do the day-to-day transaction. So we split work within ourselves. It makes life so easy. Everybody just sits down and does what they need to do.
Should we check this now?
No.
Oh, did he? Oh, God. Yeah, need to get some Duracells.
Okay, so also advice on business registration. If you're trading and you're not registered with HMRC or Companies House or a charity, you are trading illegally. You have to have a legal structure no matter what. Self-employed people would register with HMRC. They will have this UTR tax number, which they have to be using. It's a 10-digit number that you have to. I remember, I don't know whether they've changed the rules, you can trade for 3 months before you register. After 3 months, you get a penalty for not telling them on time. So please be very careful. People, I've seen a situation, an example of one lady, she was selling stuff on eBay, got caught with HMRC. She started selling her old stuff, her home stuff. Eventually, she started turning it into a big business. She did register with HMRC, not knowing that with this technology, things are all linked up now. And she's going to pay a heavy tax for trading for 2 years without having any form of registration. You have to have one form of registration. The least one is register with HMRC as a self-employed person. They will give you your UTR number. You will be doing a self-assessment once a year. If you want to have a company, like Good as Gold, you go to Companies House, you will have a registration number attached to it. And each one of those registration organizations, they will tell you when to submit your accounts, what you need to do. But the basic thing is all kinds of registration you must record keeping is crucial. Whichever form, self-assessment, yes, I only have to do it once a year. But that once a year, you need to keep your records. So companies are not strict, they are not strict. You have to submit your accounts at this particular time. You have to do an annual returns, you have to do this, you have to do that. So each one of them, you go to Charity Commission also, they have their own rules and regulations. So please, if you've not done any registration, look into which one would suit you. I think the next event is all about legal structures. You'll be able to ask questions, which one will suit the kind of business that you are running. Please don't get caught up. The world is getting smaller and smaller with all this technology now. So everybody's being caught up doing something that they've been doing for the last 2 years. I think they're running away from it. They're being caught up with it now. When that lady told me that she got a letter from HMRC saying that we've been monitoring your transactions on eBay, I was stunned. How did they get to know? It was linked up. It's very simple. Another one was in Amazon or one of these online things. For 2-3 years they've been trading. It just started innocently. Let me sell this old t-shirt, let me sell this, let me sell that. But they saw the money coming in and they started getting stuff from other people and reselling on that and getting commission and that kind of thing. That's a business. So please be very careful with such things.
I got a question on that, on just the time frame. Has it always been 3 months?
With
or
HMRC,
was it longer before?
No, it has always been 3 months with HMRC. with company's house, I think you have to do it immediately. You have that idea that you want to register a company. It's only HMRC that has this 3 months rule. I know 3 months looks like a long time, but before you know it, it's gone. So don't get caught up with it. So a bookkeeper will also assist you with your payroll, VAT returns, or self-assessment. Like I have the kind of clients that I deal with, either I go to their office to do, so I have medium-sized companies, most of them. 3 of them are VAT registered, 3 of them are charities. So the charities don't have to do VAT returns, they don't have to do any self-assessment. But my other 3 clients, I have to do their VAT returns. VAT returns, there is a threshold when your business trading income hits a certain level. Every tax year they change the figure every April. They put it higher. So once it gets that, it's compulsory to register for VAT. Be careful of that level also. I know we always say that we're starting up, but some people will, the first year of transactions, they might hit 90,000, and that is going above the threshold. So be very wary of that idea. Those are the rules and regulations that you really need to be keeping in place, and just try and get informed in that line. You could say that the accountants would do the company annual returns, accounts, corporation tax for submission. So they are doing the complicated ones at the end of it. It's usually 10% of the work, but if you don't do the 90%, like I said, they are not doing 100%, you will have to pay them for that one, because they rarely would touch your bookkeeping for you. You will give it to them in this big box, they will return it to you like that. They just remove the bank statements, and because they don't have the time, it takes a long time to get those ones sorted out. Accountants also, yep.
So looking at that, so the bookkeeper, because I sometimes get confused, and I'm sure people, it's so easy to get confused about bookkeeper. So what do you do if the accountant? So from what I'm hearing from you, the bookkeeper is like the person that maintains your financial records month by month.
Yes.
And then at the end of the year, when all the filing is really required, that's when the accountant's required.
But if you don't do your month-to-month and daily transactions, some accountants will say, we will do everything for you. They don't have the time, you really can't pay them. They charge much higher than a bookkeeper. They would collect all the documents. What we would do is we will remove all the bank statements, because we will know that everything. So everything that goes through your bank account is what we will take account of, depending on how much time is left and how close you are to the submission date, because they too don't want your accounts going in there because of penalty. So if you give it to them 1 month before your account is due in company's house, do you know how many other people have done that for them? So we will just remove the bank statement. We will only record the transactions in the bank statement. Meanwhile, the receipts are there. Some of them you pay by cash, some of them you pay from your personal account. We won't touch it because we don't have the time. So that's a major difference between what the accountant and the bookkeeper, but they would really deal with towards what's been submitted, what the law requires, and they will deal with that one. So they know about corporation tax and whatever it is. So yeah, there's a clash between the work. So, but daily transactions before the end of the first 12 months, please try and do that as much as possible, or get somebody in, or trade within yourselves. Like I do skills exchange. I'm on Echo and the hub here, my office is in the hub here. I'm on Echo, and what we do is I'll train people, and they give me something, and so I just log in and just say, okay, well, I need this for my business. I'm rubbish with marketing. I don't like IT. I don't like a lot of stuff. I can't be bothered. But I would really love to, get into what I know how to do. So we will trade, do that. So get involved in it. It's a very good, especially as startups. Get involved in it. It's very, very good. So you don't have to be exchanging cash within yourself all the time. You just measure it. Echo, yeah, it's economy. What do you call it? It's economy of. Where's Janine? It's economy of hours. There is one locally within individuals that is called time banking. I don't know if anybody's heard about time banking. That is between communities, local communities. Like I'm learning quilting from an elderly lady. We meet on Thursdays. I'm learning quilting, and I so much love it. I mean, I've done one little petal for her. She's going to be shocked on Thursday when she sees it. But in exchange, I'm teaching somebody how to do their business accounting. So we are all together. So we are about 10 of us in the same. We meet on Thursdays. We just spread our skills within ourselves. No exchange of cash at all. But everybody there gets something on that Thursday. So every Thursday, it's every 2 Thursdays. That's how. So that is a local one. The business one is called Economy of Hours something. Yeah, it's called Echo. Jenny should be able to explain it better. But we do it here in the hub. We practice within ourselves. So like last week, I was telling somebody how to fill out their self-assessment, and that's how I got to see about the form from the council when they said that, oh, she needs to apply for housing benefit, but she needs to complete the form. I was saying, this is a self-assessment form. When did the council get this one? But she said that's what they're using now. And again, it's something that I value a lot, because gone were the days when you have to pay, and because I'm a small business, I can't pay for this. I mean, I can't pay for everything. So in exchange, we have that kind of thing going on. So within the community, we have time banking. It's in Lambert, it's all over the boroughs, and within business. So try and trade skills amongst yourselves. Some people are good with marketing, some people are good because that's what they specialize in, but they need help with the legal structure, they need help with accounting, they need help with this and that. Trade within yourself, and this is a very good avenue to do that kind of thing. The more you attend all these events, the more you'll be able to say, okay, let's meet up next week. 1 hour each, you give me this one for that 1 hour, and I'll give that one for 1 hour. It's always measured in hours, so we try and make sure that it's a reasonable kind of thing that goes on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So, do you know when you, from the time you register your new startup, company's house, how many months are you given to submit self-assessment?
Every business has to trade for 12 months. After 12 months, company's house, after the first 12 months, you have 9 months to submit your accounts. You have 9 months. Self-assessment is also like that. It's just self-assessment. Everybody that is self-employed has to submit at a particular time. In company's house, everybody has a different registration date. It's calculated from the day you get registered. You will always see, they will tell you, you will always get either an letter or email, and it's if you just Google company's house and you register in company's house, it will tell, if you go on the front page, you will see all the details. It will tell you when your account is due. It's always 9 months after. I think charity commission is 10 months after the first 9 months of trading, yeah. But self-assessment, if you are self-employed with HMRC, everybody that is self would have to do it at the same time. That's just the difference between.
No, so then I'm not talking about self-assessment,
Yeah.
I'm talking about a
limited company.
They don't need to do self-assessment.
Well, if you are the director of your company, HMRC might tell you to do a self-assessment.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could be a director of your company, another company, and they want to know whether you're collecting money around there as a director of the company. Yeah, you can't escape HMRC. It's not going to.
How do you know if they want you to do that?
When you register in the company's house nowadays, every company registered in company's house, the details is sent to HMRC to sort it out whether you are supposed to. So you will get a letter from HMRC. Company's house has sent us your details. You are a new registered company. They might tell you that as a director of the company, you will have to do a self-assessment maybe the first few years. Yeah, company's house they will just pass your details. They weren't talking to each other before. They've been talking so much. They are really bad fellows now. They talk to each other every time. Immediately you register, you just get a letter from HMRC. Within a month, you will get a letter telling you your corporation tax return is this, is that. That panics everybody. Please don't ignore any letter from any one of them. Please don't. Whether you understand it or not, please don't. I'm happy to look into everybody's letter. Not when it is late. Not if you leave it, I won't touch it. I am very strict with deadlines. Because I really don't want anybody to see anybody start. Yes, my lady.
If the company is dormant,
Yeah, dormant.
When you start trading, do you still have the same 12 months and then 9 months?
You have to, whether you are dormant or not, you still have to submit. For dormant accounts, if you've not traded at all during those 12 months, you will still have the same 9 months. You will just do a dormant account submission.
No, I mean when you then start trading, so say
Yeah.
you're dormant for the year.
Yeah, it's still the same thing. It's rolling on. It's the same. It doesn't change for anybody at all. So even if you submitted dormant account for the first 5 years, you haven't traded, because some people, because of the name, they want to make sure that nobody gets that name. They will quickly register it, but they are not ready to trade. You will be submitting dormant account as and when it is due, and it's the same 9 months after every 12 months. 9 months after every 12 months for every one of them.
And you still need, if you're a director of that holding company, you still need to speak to HMRC because it's dormant, right? You're not getting any
Yes, you still have to. It depends on if HMRC sends you a letter when you registered and says that you are due for a corporation tax returns. People always they forget about that one. The CT 600, that's the name of the form. It is a corporation tax returns. Now, there is no way HMRC will know whether you have traded or not. So if you've not traded and you submit a mail account to Companies House, you need to let HMRC know that this is the accounts I've submitted, and they will tick it off that yes, it's a mail account, you are not liable for taxation, because there has to be a letter coming from them also saying that we have received information that you have submitted a mail account, something in that line. If you don't, if you keep quiet, they still have the right to charge, to do a penalty on the fact that you haven't submitted your corporation tax returns. So the difference is you can't say, I didn't trade, so I'm not submitting anything. No, it is not acceptable. You can submit a 0000 account, it's always in the balance sheet, the nil account returns. You can still submit that one. I think a lot of people are able to do it now, they make it easier. But HMRC also needs to know, because HMRC handles the corporation tax part of it. Companies House is the one dealing with the submission of your accounts. So if you do one, you have to do the other. Until you get a letter from HMRC that says, do not bother sending us corporation tax returns. If you don't get that letter, please continue giving them the same information you give Companies House. Please give it to HMRC also. Okay. Now, preparing end of year accounts. It costs less to be more organized. It's just as simple as that. The more organized you are, the less you have to pay anybody. It's just like anybody that wants. If you're dealing with a lawyer also, the more information you give them, the more quickly they go through your procedure. So what you will need is your total income and expenditure for the year in question. We already touched on that one, usually 12 months. Bank statements and other financial documents related to the same period. If you are using a spreadsheet, you can forward the spreadsheet to the accountant that want to do it for you, because we just get the spreadsheet and turn it into our format and submit it. And if you are using any accounting software, if you become a guru in it now, it's somebody training you into using it. In every accounting software, QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, whichever one you use, they have all reports are programmed in there. The information you put in, the reports will come out. If you don't put anything in, if you click on reports, it will just say no data. It's just as simple as that. It's not a human being, it's not going to start conjuring or thinking. So when you're preparing your end of year's accounts, because you have been totaling up your income and expenditure, you see, because 12 months is always, people always look at 12 months as a long distance. Before you know it, you've caught up with it. We're already in March. We're going to go into April very soon, and we just started the year just yesterday. So, yeah, it's not always easy accounting. It's always but again, so it's something that you have. The bank statements, I want to talk something about that. Try as much as possible to have a business bank account separate from your personal one. It makes life easier for everybody. When you first start, of course, you are using your personal money to buy the stuff for you to trade and that kind of thing. It's understandable. The earlier you can get your business bank account, please, the better. It makes life easier for everybody. You can separate it and you will know whether there's money in it or not.
How would you deal with your bookkeeping if you trade with cash in hand exclusively? So how would you do that?
Petty cash. Use a spreadsheet to record all your transactions and keep as many receipts as possible. Every organization, big, small, whatever, they still have to deal with cash transactions. For example, charities, they deal with a lot of cash transactions because they have to pay volunteers' expenses, they are running little projects here and there, they have to pay people on the spot and that kind of a thing. When you pay somebody, you get a receipt. It's just the same. You have to program yourself and say, when I give you money, I need a paper in return. So whether you are paying by cash, check, backs, whatever method, you still have to collect that paper and record it. There's no way that you would, it's difficult for cash-based business, and they are the ones that lose out on the expenditure side of things because they are spending and they are not recording the transactions. The receipts are disappearing because they are just
the income that I'm concerned with. So I can keep receipts, for example, but if
Yeah.
you're being paid in cash.
Yeah, you still need to record it and keep it.
Okay.
You could get a receipt booklet, that might help you out. Yeah, yeah. Don't change up your face. When I mention that receipt booklet, everybody say, ooh, yeah. Get that one so that when they pay you, you use it and you just tear off the one and keep the duplicates. That booklet is your record.
I think part of what you're saying is that it's easier for somebody that trades in cash only to probably not disclose the full amount of their income, maybe?
No, that's not what I'm trying to do.
It's-
What I'm trying to say
okay,
is that
recording
if you trade with cash, and that's the only way you can in the industry that you work in.
Yeah.
No, it's not possible to like receive receipts, for example. This is just
Use it. You get a receipt. Go and buy a receipt booklet. It's so easy to do it that way. The easiest way. Just always carry it around. When they pay you, even if they say they don't want the receipt, you record it.
You record it.
You record it. You say, I tell you there was no excuse. There's no way you can run around and
and
say.
then you can make a separate
Then
bank
you
account
now, yeah. Then
and put that money into the bank.
you can have a bank. You will have your business account and you can bank it. You're gonna have to bank cash at some
So
point.
bank everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's advisable to bank if you can and not deduct your payment from it. However, saying that it's easier said than done. You just have to be very careful and make sure that if you take money, if you make a sales, just like if you walk into a shop and the tills are easier because they've got the roll in it that we do a print off at the end of the day. But if you're in a store, that you are just like the lady selling, all the people selling stuff up there, yeah. They are supposed to be recorded. I'm quite surprised that they are not recorded. I don't know how they want to record how much sales they made today. They might have a magic head recording it in their head, but they should have a receipt booklet. No, seriously speaking, because you will lose out a lot of time. And HMRC, when they do, the company house doesn't do inspections. It's HMRC that does inspection because they are the one handling anything that has to do with us. The problem they've been having over the years is self-employed people declaring loss for the last 25 years they've been trading. I mean, it's unheard for, that business should have gone under a long time ago. But I've seen people 10 years declaring loss all the time so that they don't want to pay tax. They reduce their sales, increase their expenditure, and HMRC is hammering on them now. So they will tell you, because they have an idea of everybody's industry. I mean, they've been in the business for that long, they would know that there is something wrong. So, and especially when you say they are cash free, they tell you, how did you arrive at that figure?
That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, with a receipt, I can get like a little booklet from Powerland.
Yeah.
Are you going to see that as something
Yes.
reliable?
Yes, that is your record. That's your sales record.
Right, okay, long
Yeah,
as
yeah. So even if you, because it comes in duplicates or whatever it is, even if the person says don't bother, you just keep your own record, just leave it there. Because that one you could enter it into a spreadsheet and say record your strategy, because you are now transferring the information from the booklet into a spreadsheet.
Right.
Yeah, it's much easier that way than not having anything because it's cash based. We always have problems with that. In fact, even big companies have that problem. People just take their money, take the cash out and not put anything back in. When you take money out, you have to put money in and that kind of a thing. Okay. Yes, accounting software versus Excel spreadsheet. For startup business, like I said, I would recommend starting with a spreadsheet. I'm very happy. It's part of what I sent to you. There is a spreadsheet, a sample in there. But if you need clarification, I can do a generous 1 hour one-to-one with either of you. I'm very strict with timekeeping. I'm very strict. When you book with me, please turn up. So if you want me to show you how to enter your transaction in Excel spreadsheet, I can give you an hour each on a one-to-one basis because everybody's business is quite different from each other. So we'll talk about that when we're networking. You will take my card and just book your slot, then we'll work out. We would meet here or any other place that is okay with you. So accounting software, which they now call cloud accounting, QuickBooks, Sage, Xero, there's so many of them out there. Please leave those ones to the more experienced users because when you make a mistake in that one, I can easily train anybody on that. I do training a lot of people. But when you try and do it yourself, you are not a bookkeeper. There's what we call double entry transactions. You will never know how to do it until you do a bookkeeping course. And I don't think anybody has that enough time to be having to worry themselves about this. So if you stick to spreadsheet, by the time your business is growing in year 2, year 3, or whatever it is, it's easy to transfer it into an accounting software. So please don't run and go and buy, even if they're offering it for you for free. They will always say 6 months free. They've locked you in, you sign up. The software is there, you're paying on a monthly basis, and it's perpetual, and you can't use it, you're just wasting money. Why don't you use it on the spreadsheet and just get over it? So please, as startup businesses, start with Excel spreadsheet. Like I said, I am happy to offer you 1 hour each, one-to-one basis. I don't have any problem. We have to work out the logistics within ourselves.
I'm first in the queue.
Just saying. Okay. Then, I don't know whether you've been hearing this thing they call making tax digital. It's the wrong name for the thing that they're saying, but it's HMRC we are talking about. They like scaring everybody with this big thing. It's going to be very compulsory now, and the reason why they are making it, they are still lobbying, all the professional bodies are still lobbying to exempt startup businesses. HMRC is still refusing because they actually want self-employed people to make sure that they see their records every 3 months. What it means is that every 3 months, you will have to submit your income and expenditure reports to HMRC. Every business. Charities are exempted as of now. We are negotiating heavily for businesses under a certain income level to be exempted. HMRC is still saying no, but they will succumb at some point because it's gone higher than cost now. But it is going to take effect from 2018. The first set of guinea pigs are starting this April 2017. There are some businesses they've selected to test it. So it's happening, it's not going to go away, no matter how messy it is. HMRC is still insisting. They want to see every businesses, as many businesses as possible, every 3 months you submit your income and expenditure. Because by the end of your 12 months, they already have an idea of your total sales, your expenditure. They're already calculating in their head how much tax is coming in before your account is actually submitted. So please get on board. It's better to be prepared now using the spreadsheets. And if you're bold enough, you can use the accounting software. But don't wait till the work piles up. Please do not. It is happening. We thought when they announced it, we thought, yeah, as usual, HMRC does that. But we realized that they are not joking about it because they are finding it so difficult to get money off self-employed people. It's very easy for a self-employed person to complete their self-assessment and just say, £500 sales, £2,000 expenditure, minus 1,500 I overspent. And they're laughing and saying, do you think we're really that idiots? Which money did you get to pay more part of your business and that kind of thing? So people are now the ones pushing them towards the fact that they are not backing down. So they are not going to back down. The guinea pigs are starting in 2017 next month. They've already won the logistics report. Everybody, a lot of people are moving in 2018 and they are including self-employed people. So it's until they now come back and say, we will let you know when they say if your business income is less than a certain amount of money. Yeah, but at the moment they are not budgeting. So but it will come down.
So this will be more work for the accounting part.
It will be more work for everybody. Yeah. So if you don't want to be paid professional to be doing it, get this 1 hour a week. I always tell people the 1 hour a week is so easy for people to just start up.
Yeah, just remember you said already, but for what kind of businesses is this for?
At the moment, they are only exempting charities, and they are still thinking about to have a threshold, just like the VAT returns, when if your business trading income is not up to a certain level, you don't have to register for VAT. We are trying to push that same 80-something thousand so that a lot of self-employed people would be included. But the reason why they did this is because of the self-employed people in the first instance. Because what happens is, come January, the self-employed people, when they're doing their self-assessments, they are always rushing to do it. So they just put in figures just to complete and meet the deadline. HMRC knows they're not true. I've done one and I was looking at it and I said, no. Actually, HMRC doesn't need to say this one. I know that this one is not correct. It's not correct because it's not possible. People are, because they're not accountants, they don't understand what I'm talking about. So I have to explain to them. And so that's why I said the keeping of those receipts and everything very crucial. It is coming. They might eventually say they are exempting self-employed people, but at the moment it's only charities, and in fact I think it's only 3 groups that are exempting: charities and 2 other groups I've never heard of. But self-employed people are the top on the list. Yeah. Because they did it. They came about this because of the self-employed. They are the hardest people to target to get money off with HMRC. Okay, like I said, those are the main services that we offer in our business. I work with 2 other colleagues. They are not on the payroll. We don't do payroll thing with each other. I don't want to be getting a client and subcontracting it out, and I have to pay through my nose for somebody else that doesn't want to do their job. So what we do is we subcontract on each person's business, but we work together. So if I need an accountant, somebody calls me and say, oh, I've done my bookkeeping and I need an accountant, I'll just call my colleague. I'll just say, well, I don't deal with that one, I deal with that one, and that kind of a thing. So like record keeping, we do the weekly, whatever it is, we do training, like I said. I also run a work-based training program for accounting students. At the moment, I need a free space because I've paid through my nose renting an office to use them. I freelance a lot. I'm never in the office, so I go to my client's office to work. So if I'm going to be running that system, because usually what I do when I used to do it, I will always send the students when I train them to self-employed businesses and so that they can continue. So the self-employed person gets free bookkeeping and the student gets work experience on their CV. So it works, like I said, the training thing now works in 2 places. But I don't have any student at the moment because I don't have any venue to use. I also do mentoring for young people that want to start their business kind of stuff. And that, my darlings, is the end of my long jabbering talk. So please pick up the business card if you want to have that free 1 hour. I'm being generous here, so please pick it up and let's talk and have it.
Okay, thank you very much, Grace. Thank you. There were a couple of things in it for me, so I just wanted to clarify that we're all kind of on the same path. So when it comes to accounting, bookkeeping, actual budgeting versus
actuals, yeah, versus
budgeting, the cash flow statement. Do we have any questions at all, or are we completely okay with that? Do I take a silence if we're okay with that? Or should I put back up the slides and that may jog someone's memory? Because my thing is, the main thing is that we've all digested and understood the information, and if there's any questions he's asking, now's the time to ask. Or you can have your one-to-one.
Yeah. It's up to everybody. You can ask questions, you can have your one-to-one, it's entirely up to you. It's just that, but based on this, people always book for the one-to-one because it's now they now have to have their own business and I'm quite straight. If you don't have any paperwork, you call me. There's no point because I'm going to use my company. I'm going to use my company's business invoices to train you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Bring your paperwork and I'll show you how to do it.
Okay.
And that's when they'll say, "Oh, so this is what you do." Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, if there's no questions, we'll take a break till 9 o'clock. So we'll get a 10 minutes break. Feel free to go back upstairs, get your food if you hadn't already, and then we'll do the pitching at 9:30. At 9 o'clock. So yeah, feel free to go upstairs. Or stay down here and network. It's completely up to you.
So how many people are cooking upstairs there? Because it seems as if there's the food people that came in today.
Seriously, the food is just like so delicious.
I just said the guy that made the whose story is this? That's why they always say that. That's why when I used to work and I'm in my office, I pay 600 pounds for the month. I don't even need, I only go there once a month. So I have to stop it because everybody is my business money. Then they say, you're not running anything. I said, yeah, everybody goes to turn up because it's raining. And I was a champion, the student that can't champion. So now, I now say, okay, yeah, it's going to cost you 600 pounds. I said, oh, we don't have that money. I said, yeah, that's it. I don't have the space. I said, go and look for a space.
So yes, I want to book in my first consultation. I've been looking for an accountant.
Everybody needs to do stuff. They need to do that stuff that everybody's always running away from.
I do some, but I don't want to do as
much because it's always not easy. It's just like me. Anything outside accounts, when they tell me to come and like I run around, they'll everywhere speak because I don't. It's just not me. Listen,
We can run now.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So tell me what you don't have some, yeah? So yeah, it's when are you usually free?
Mondays or well, I can't say Mondays now because I'm taking on work placements and stuff. So
You have an office. You have a way.
I'm happy
So,
to
yeah,
meet at my
yeah.
home or to come down here.
Yeah, you can come down here because I'm here. I'm a member here, so I always use the iPad. The reason why I became a member is I would really use it for meetings. If I'm meeting with city clients or whatever I do. Like I said, I freelance and professional. Some days I'm never here. I'm supposed to be doing 1 day a week, but it depends on what people don't book me. But at least it's space. They've got internet, they've got everything. All we need to do is get in all the stuff that we need. So if it's convenient for you, you can come in here. But we have to arrange the day that will suit you. I'm not free. This coming Tuesday. No,